everyone, and welcome to another episode of SportsLifeTalk South. This is episode 3, Don't Speak. And tonight we have your host, MIZZ, Miss El Paso. Can you hear us, Miss El Paso?
Sorry, I think I'm having, there we go. Can y'all hear me now?
Sorry about that. You. And myself, Alayna of Dresses and Salted Pretzels. And wait a second, that's not Britney there at the bottom. That is the man, the myth, the legend, the wizard behind the curtain, our head coach, KT, the producer of Sports Life Talk out of Dallas and Sports Life Talk out of Houston. So let's get rolling because this episode is about losers from this weekend.
It really is. There's a lot of losers. Sorry, my headphones was like, girl, stop. We're not doing this right now. So I couldn't hear anything. So I missed the intro. Did we thank everybody for? No? Okay. So as everybody knows, there was a storm that came through Houston. So a big shout out to all of our friends and all of our families that reached out for the last couple of days, making sure that we were okay. And we definitely want to make sure that everybody else is okay. So a big shout out to them too. What is everybody drinking? Because we got to toast up that we made it through this storm. Alayna, what are you drinking today?
All right. I have, of course, Southern Star Brewery, Buried Hatchet, which is a dark ale. And I have to say, that was my first beer. I have now moved on to my second beer, which is the Bombshell Blonde, also from Southern Star, and an ale, but a blonde ale. Kind of like me.
Okay. That sounds good. What about you, Coach?
Well, right now I'm not drinking anything. I got an empty bottle of water. I mean, I drank something earlier, if that works for you, but yeah.
You got to stay hydrated.
Well, I didn't want to have water on the show because I got a bladder of an 86-year-old, so I would have been out of here. So my bad, y'all.
No worries. I have El Pepino with tajin on it. Yeah, tequila and tequila. So really excited about that. So cheers to everyone for being safe and making it through this week.
Cheers. And cheers to Ken, who joined us from Pennsylvania in the Northeast. Appreciate you tuning in. Brittany, we are so sorry that we are missing you today. This episode is for you. Don't speak because of what happens when people lose.
Well, yeah.
When people lose.
I'm going to say, before we go on, I know people, they were expecting to see Britt, and I'm sorry I can't be the eye candy that she is, but you know what? I'll do my best.
I think you're going to be just as good as Brittany. Well, actually, let me take that back. Brittany's probably like, what?
Yeah, don't get slapped. I mean.
Coach, you have a different audience than Brittany. So.
Well, you know, the times are different, so you never know. We may have the same audience, just how it is.
Well, let's go to the athlete of the week. And this is different from, this sport is different from what we usually talk about. So who is the athlete of the week this week, Alayna?
Thank you, Misty. Our athlete of the week is Lewis Hamilton, who is a Mercedes driver for Formula One. And he holds the record for the most wins, the most podiums, and he has 7 championship titles in his own right. And he's very prominent advocate and activism against racism, and he is trying to promote diversity within the sport of motorsports. He is also a very flashy guy. So he likes to be in the circuit. He was at the Met Gala. But we're not actually here to talk about his accolades today because this show is about the losers. So the Formula One on Sunday was held in Italy, and Lewis Hamilton was cut out of the race on lap 25 in an extremely terrifying wreck between him and Max Verstappen. And he could have lost his life in this accident if it was not for the halo which protected him. So he and Max Verstappen were coming around the corner. Lewis didn't give Max much room. Max ended up on top of his tire, on top of Lewis's car. And so they were both out of the race. And the crazy thing is that these two are fighting for the number 1 position right now. Verstappen, I believe, was like 3 points ahead of Lewis. And he just was hit 3 points as well for that crash. And so, thank goodness Lewis is okay. He said he had a slight bit of a headache and his neck was a little sore. But definitely, if you did not see that, go back and watch the replay because it's crazy when you see that tire coming up over his head. So he was a very good loser. I will tell you that. He was super happy that that Ricardo won and his old team, which is McLaren. So that was actually podium. First place, second place were McLaren drivers, and third was his teammate Bottas from Mercedes.
I know we're talking about losers, but can we talk about him being a winner, when he's not racing? I mean, he was with what's her name? Nicole Scherzinger or whatever.
Pussycat Dolls.
Yes, her. So, I mean.
You said the P word. Ooh.
I know, that's why I stayed away from that one. But he had her, and if I'm not mistaken, they may have just took a picture together, but people were saying that him and Sha'Carri Richardson was at the Met Gala together.
Yeah, I don't know if they were actually together or if it was just a picture, but let me tell you, this guy is a man of the world. He is all over the board with the girls that he dates. Always very good looking. So, like as you said, he may be lost on Sunday, but he's a winner in his romantic life.
I just want to give him his props there. We're talking about losers, but you got to win somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why every time I think about like Formula One racers, I think like what kind of workout do you do? Are you an ab person, legs, arms? I'm thinking arms, right?
They do. They work out. I can't tell you how many countless hours a day, full body. They are superior athletes in their own right. One thing you might not realize is that most of them are very short. So Misty, you're kind of man. There's I think the average height is 5'7", 5'8" or something.
Perfect. That's perfect for me. Yep. Short and stout though. I don't like an athletic body. But coming up short, let's talk about the Big Ten and also the non-conference team. Who are they again? What's the non-conference team that didn't win this weekend? I'm not sure if you want to kind of elaborate on that. Or are we doing don't speak on this? Are we not speaking on this? Notre Dame?
I think you're talking about the NFL.
Notre Dame.
Oh, no. Oh.
That's why I was so confused. I'm like,
you're like non-conference.
I'm like, we weren't talking about Notre Dame because they won. So I am 1 for 1 this weekend. Notre Dame won, the Bears lost.
And I'm 1-1 because the Florida Gators won, and then the Dallas Cowboys we kicked ourselves in the butt, if you know what I mean. And
I'm 2 for 2 because I just rock with like the best teams, Raiders and Michigan State. I just know how to pick them right.
Well, let's talk about Britt though. I mean, she's in the comments saying things, and as soon as that game was over, I immediately texted Alayna. I was like, "Hey, how is Britt doing?" And she just sent me an N. So I assumed she's not doing well. So we'll just leave it at that.
Well, I will tell you, I was impressed because we watched the Ohio State-Oregon game at my house, which was a smart move because if we would have been at a bar, probably would not have been pretty. After the game, though, she did go out and watch the rest of the games, and then we had a reggae concert that night, and she was in a very, I wouldn't say good mood, but she was in a good mood after, she got over her loss for a little bit. But the reason that this episode is called Don't Speak is because of Britney, because if we were talking about Ohio State and Oregon, she would not be talking right now. And as you can see in the comments, she is not speaking.
She's not speaking at all, but I'll speak because Michigan State played Youngstown. 42-14 was the points, and we're number 1 right now in the Big Ten East, and we are doing pretty well. I'd like to say we had a quarterback, what's his name, Payne Thorne, who is a redshirt sophomore. He had 284 yards and 4 touchdowns, but the real star of Michigan State for this game was Xavier Henderson, who actually just came out of nowhere with a nice pick, some assists, and also the highest team numbers for tackles, which was 8. He's pretty amazing. So we're looking really, really, really good. So Brittany, you're about to be pissed off for the rest of the season. I have a feeling for that.
Uh-oh, them are fighting words.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, so, you know, when Ohio State plays Michigan State, we're going to have to watch that together, definitely.
I watched that with you guys last year, and it was a good time.
Yeah, Michigan State lost that one.
They sure did.
It was a pretty bad game. Yeah, we went to go eat Mexican food, I think, in like second quarter. We're like, all right, we're done with this. We don't have to watch this anymore. But the biggest losers for the NFL, who were they?
Well, look at Coach. Coach is like, I'm not going to speak on this.
Well, no, I will speak on it, Alayna. You know mine is going to be the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
Because that was a very winnable game against the GOAT, Tom Brady. Our defense had 4 turnovers against him. Our kicker missed an extra point, a field goal, and our coach, who I am not sold on, settled for a 60-yard field goal to give Tom Brady a lesser field like he needs it. So, yeah, y'all talk. I'm done.
So, I just have one more thing to add on that, Coach. Did you have that kicker on your fantasy team? Oh,
well, okay. I forgot about that. Yeah, I had the kicker, and I went against Dak, Amari Cooper, and Rob Gronkowski. I was down 114-8 on Thursday.
How much is that league that you're in?
We all put $20 in. There's 12 of us. So, but you know what's funny? I actually came back and won.
With who? Who did you have on your team that brought it back?
I had Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, like a couple of running backs that they did their job. They brought me back. So I'm 1-0. So I'm not a loser in fantasy until I played against B. Jones, because I had Aaron Rodgers, who I know we're going to mention as a loser. I had Derrick Henry, who didn't do anything, so they cost me in that one. So I'm sorry for hijacking your part, Alayna. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. That's exactly what I was looking for. And good segue into the Packers and Who Dat Nation game, because I will tell you, I never shed a tear when the Packers lose, but scoring only 3 points the entire game is a complete embarrassment. Aaron Rodgers did you no favors, Coach, on your fantasy team. And the only upside that I could say is that when Tampa Bay played the Saints last year, they lost 38-3 and then went on to win a Super Bowl. So that does not mean that we are done with the Packers, but I mean, you know, Packers Nation, goodbye. See ya.
Let me ask you this. Have y'all ever seen a quarterback of his caliber, Rodgers, just not like he didn't give a damn that game? It was like, oh, you know what? Go ahead, throw it. Oh, well, man. I've never seen him play like that ever. And if anybody in my league is watching this show, I will trade him to you. Know, the funny thing is I have Russell Wilson on my bench. 30 points.
Whoa. Yeah. I always put Wilson in. Wilson's always the one that stays on. He stays on the roster. I hardly ever take him out. I'm surprised you did that. That was
no. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers is going to throw the ball probably more than Wilson, even though Wilson gets rushing yards. But I just figured against the Saints, it'd probably be like a shootout or something. It's Aaron Rodgers. Come on now.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers old though.
Yeah, you live and you learn.
I was laughing watching the post-game show because Drew Brees was on there like, yeah, you know, I guess all the Saints needed was a quarterback.
Yeah, they can throw the ball down the field. So, yeah.
He had a great sense of humor. It was really funny.
What about the Bears? How did they do?
Oh, boy. Well, not just the Bears, but the entire NFC North are a bunch of losers. Not one team won their game in the NFC North, and that's the only one that there were no wins was the NFC North. So they're the biggest losers. You know, there's been a lot of chatter about the Bears game. Obviously, the Rams were favored. Everyone had the Rams to win. But playing Andy Dalton and then getting to see the glimpse of Fields has been definitely a discussion point. And I will have to say that I'm a little bit torn because I understand why they're not playing Fields. The O-line is not good. He's not going to be protected. You know, they want to give him some time. Aaron Rodgers, for example, had to wait for Favre to step aside. So, there's, I mean,
No,
I want to see him play. I'm
No.
going to tell you. That's why I'm torn, because I want to see Justin Fields play. Nagy, stop all this BS. I think Nagy's probably going to be fired.
Don't worry. By week 3, Fields will be in there. And like you said, they couldn't put him in there against the Rams with that offensive line because he'd have been crushed. And if he gets hurt, then what?
Yeah, exactly. He would have been torn up. But.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're not going into the players' anthem yet, but I just want to say, we wear the silver, we wear the black, don't get in our way. No? Okay, the Raiders?
Yeah, you're on that one.
I really was. Hey, that's Emmanuel Lewis in his own show. You can watch it on YouTube. The Raiders sing that song, and it's pretty amazing. But the Raiders, that overtime, woo, talk about it. Tell me what y'all thought about it. How were you feeling? Because I know I was feeling good. I was feeling really good.
Well, Raider Nation, I rock with my boys, Jeff and Ray. They're huge Raiders fans, and now I know that you are. And also Mo from Girl Chat Sports. She's a Raiders fan.
Yeah. Hey, Mo, what's up?
Yeah, so Miss El Paso, let's be real. Y'all got the W. I'm not taking that away at all, but good well, y'all should not have won that game. Lamar Jackson and his fumbling issues, I'm glad he didn't cost me in fantasy, but that was a good game. I don't know why people don't believe in Derek Carr. What more does he have to show? So, congrats to Raider Nation. I think next week y'all got Kansas City. So let's see what happens next week.
Yeah, I we're only adding the song I just sang to this week's player anthem, not any. I don't want to put any money on anything else. Not on anything else.
The Ravens were favored by 4. So, hi, Alice. That's my mom's best friend, everyone.
Hello, best friend. Alayna's mom.
But yeah, the Ravens were favored by 4, and that was the game to watch. It was a great game. I watched the entire game. I was not bored 1 second of it. The one thing, and I'm going to go a little bit girly here. I was like, when did all these people become Raiders fans? Because now that they're in Las Vegas, suddenly you've got Lil Jon wearing a Raiders jersey. You've got all these celebrities in the crowd wearing, repping the Raiders Nation. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I didn't fact check this, but I'm pretty sure Lil Jon is not actually a Raiders fan. It's just because they're in Vegas. I mean, where were they before they were in Vegas? Where was this crowd? Where were these fans?
But I will say,
go ahead.
I will say this, Alayna, like Raider Nation and Cowboy Nation, and I say Steeler Nation, they've always been around.
Yes.
So when you have these other nations, if they say like something about the Patriots, of course, in the last 20 years they came around, but it's no other nation. It's Raider Nation, Steeler Nation, Cowboy Nation.
Yeah, I think the Raider Nation is America's new favorite team. And America's.
Oh, you know, I almost stopped the show. That's not the truth. Stop playing.
Stop playing. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. It's happening. Just go with the movement. Let it happen.
I will have to say that, Misty made my heart as a loser feel a little bit better because she sent me a video of a Bears fan getting jumped by a bunch of Rams fans. And let me tell you, this guy took it to him. So I was like, good for you. Oh, and his girl got in there and had his back as well. I was like, we need to put this guy on the O-line, his girl on defense. But that's how terrible LA fans are. Like, it was, what, Misty, 5-6 on 1?
It really was. It was really bad. And I'd like to say we don't condone violence, especially with watching these games. It's a family event. We're all supposed to be there having fun. And I'm really sad that this is starting to become a trend for a lot of these teams, especially LA. LA is starting to become that fan base that you go to the game, you're starting to become a little wary of how the outcome is going to be. So I'd like to see this end. I really would like. This is a trend I'd like to see end. For
Dodgers fans are acting like Yankees fans. I mean, when I went to go to a Cubs Dodgers game and everyone was so nice. It was probably 2017, 2018, so it was a while back. But now, I mean, you see the Astros travel to the Dodgers, and they're absolutely terrible, just like the rep that the Yankees fans have had.
Well, y'all gotta understand, when you get alcohol gets involved, then that's when all the money happens.
So stop the fighting, or else they'll take out alcohol from the stadiums, and we don't want that to happen.
Oh, no, they're not. That's too much money. They're not taking
That
alcohol
is,
away.
what else is a lot of money? Kim Kardashian. I'm going into celebrity gossip. I got to do this. Kim Kardashian and her faceless outfit that she wore to the Met Gala. And before that, she was wearing some type of like leather dominatrix outfit that had what is it called? Zippers all over the place. I do not want this to be a trend. I think it was ugly. They called her, I forgot who they called her from some movie, what did they say? Demominator or something from Harry Potter, from the Harry Potter show. I hate it. I think she really may have gotten some plastic surgery on her face. And this is just her new trend to say like, oh yeah, look, I'm still Kim Kardashian. You just can't see the stitches. But when she comes out, she's going to look all nice and tight. So maybe it was lipo-dissolved. I don't know. And she needed some compression on her face. But yeah, not feeling it. Didn't like it at all. But what else I'm not feeling is Married at First Sight. I know there's some Married at First Sight fans out there. And I'm just going to say one couple's name, Michaela and Zach. Michaela and Zach got married. They went to Florida for their honeymoon. He got COVID. And he was not allowed to stay in the same room as her. She got so upset. And she was just like, la, 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 made a huge deal about it. They didn't get to come together again until they moved into their apartment. And ladies, you know this. And I know we've been there before. This guy wakes up at 7 o'clock in the morning, takes the dogs to doggy care. And while he's gone, she wakes up. She told him, I don't like to be waking up in the morning, so don't wake me up. Let me wake up on my own. So he doesn't wake her. He goes and takes dogs over. She's texting and calling. He's not responding. So what does she do? She flips out. Why? Because in her head, she created a narrative that at 7 o'clock in the morning, he's probably at some girl's house having coffee. I don't know. Like, what narrative are you having in your head? So she goes berserk, throws this whole tantrum in the apartment, gets her stuff and leaves. This guy comes back home by 9 a.m. like, where's my wife at? And she straight up bounced and sent him a text and said, we are canceling the party with our friends and family. I want nothing to do with this. Then she realizes the narrative in her head was probably, really dumb. And now she's like, okay, yeah, let's have this party. So the end of the season, the end of the episode is that they had the party, but he's like, yeah, I'm not feeling this anymore. So Married at First Sight, Houston, I'm saying the losers are this couple. They're getting a divorce for sure after the 6 weeks. And I can't wait for it to be done for this couple. Like, just take the L and keep it moving.
So
that's my opinion.
Are we that desperate for love that we just go on shows like this and just marry the okay. I digress.
Well, no. I mean, no. Real quick. Understand that in some cultures, you really do get married at first sight. And it works out for like forever. It's just this one's on TV. And there's some people who are probably doing it for other reasons than being married, which
I get the whole reality aspect of it, but I'm just saying this we doing too much. We got the mad singer, then we got an animated singer that you sing. It's too much.
You say too much, I say not enough. I still watch these shows.
To close that, all I want to say is, to all the men I've loved before. Next.
Okay, the players anthem. All right, we're moving on to the players anthem. Alayna, break it down for us.
You thought I didn't have any surprises today.
Well, you said you didn't, then you pulled that out. So great job.
I just thought of it. Just top of my head. Okay, the players anthem this week is for the losers. So, you're done with your T-ball game, get into mom and dad's car. Mom says, you'll get him next time, son. And you just need a good 5-hour long cry. So this playlist is called Don't Speak by Esteban, not Esteban, without the N, period, Para, P-A-R-R-A, on Spotify. And it is exactly that. It is a good cry. Of course, it has Don't Speak on it. We've got some Ed Sheeran. It has some Latin music on there. So if you're really feeling your heart, Misty, you've got the Spanish crying music. A lot of really terrible pop songs that your, significant other acts like they don't like, but he secretly sings along to it in the shower. So that's what we're going with for the Players Anthem this week. The Spotify playlist is Don't Speak.
Nice.
I'm waiting for somebody to sing the No Doubt song. When are we going to get that?
How do you feel about No Doubt, Coach?
Okay, so secretly, I love No Doubt.
Secretly, see?
Yeah, secretly, I really do. I mess with No Doubt. Don't speak. I know what you're thinking. I could have sang it, but I don't want to run the people off right now. I could have sang it for you though, but I'm not.
What? You could do the low parts.
Or I can do no parts. How about that?
You're amongst friends. It's not like this is recorded and anyone can watch it at any time anywhere in the world. No big deal.
I know. You know what? I'm gonna say that for the next time I come on, because I got to warm up my voice. That's my excuse.
You said that they have Latin music on this playlist, right? And
Yep.
The first thing I thought was every song, at least in my culture, in the Mexican culture, every song is like a crying song. Like it's either a crying happy song, a crying dancing song, a crying drinking song. But it's always like any song that the Mexican culture can bring out, you could cry to, and I love it. I love it. So
until the last teardrop falls, Freddie Fender.
And who else? Okay, let's just take
Texas,
it to
all Texas, baby.
Well, since you're talking about the last teardrop falls, who was crying for the player hater? Who are we nominating as a player hater? The athlete that not like we hate and their team does as well. So who is that person this week?
You've just been killing those transitions, Misty. I'm super impressed. All right. So for the player haters, we are going with sore losers tonight. So why don't you guys tell me a few of your sore losers? I think of LeBron James, Bobby Knight, for example. When somebody says sore loser, I think of the Pistons when they walked off the court when the Bulls won. But the number one, and I do want to hear your thoughts on this, but the number one sore loser became a sore loser before she ever won. And what I mean by that is Tonya Harding. Tonya had won a gold medal at the Nationals just the year before. She had placed number one continuously, was so threatened by Nancy Kerrigan that we all know the famous knee incident. And Nancy Kerrigan went on to take second place. She got the silver medal at the Olympics, second to Oksana Bayou, who got the gold medal. Nancy Kerrigan was also a sore loser. She was caught on tape saying, I don't even know I need to go up to this podium because all Oksana is going to do is cry. And so, Tonya, man, you could have had it all. And instead, you were a sore loser before it ever really started.
I think she was in the wrong sport. She should have been in hockey. That should have been her sport, and I think she would have won in that sport.
I don't know about that, Miss El Paso, because she tried boxing, and you got to be able to fight in hockey. We seen her get her ass kicked, so I don't think she want to go in hockey.
I forgot about that boxing thing. I really did.
Wait, Tonya, she never served any jail time. The other guy served jail time. She just had, I think, $150,000 fine. But talk about a comeback story, because after figure skating, she did the boxing, the reality TV show. She's got a movie about her. I mean, what a villain to kind of like come back and make something of herself.
Absolutely. Brittany, you're right. Roller derby is probably the sport she should be doing.
So
things to do in Houston really quickly. What do we have? We have Tanashi at House of Blues, right? We have Discovery Green, the Flea by Night, which is like a little flea market that they have going on. Buffalo Bayou Turntables. It was supposed to be this Tuesday, and it's going to be next Tuesday, which is kind of awesome now that the weather's kind of cooling down, to go out there and just listen to some DJs. Anything else you guys want to add on?
Misty, where I know that there are some points for outreach and help for people that have suffered a loss during this hurricane.
The multi-service centers are open in the morning until 5 p.m. if you need to charge up your phone or need a reprieve from the heat. So you can go in any of those multi-service centers. I believe that they're going to be open tomorrow. The city was shut down today. Everyone was working from home, but we will be fully operated tomorrow.
Great. That's so wonderful to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, everyone, make sure you stay safe out there. I know there's still some tree limbs that are still falling, so don't think that we're out of the woods yet. No pun intended. I forgot to give a shout out to Papagayo Negro for giving me a text, for sending me a text at 4 a.m. to make sure that I was okay. So I appreciate, again, we all appreciate all the family and friends, and consider us family and friends. We hope that you guys are safe as well.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm glad that my cousins who were with me for 2 weeks because they escaped the hurricane in New Orleans made it back to New Orleans before this weather hit here in Houston. So they've now escaped 2 hurricanes. We want to say, Brittany, we miss you dearly today. We're so sorry that you're having issues with the internet, but we are glad that you have power. It's very important. You'd be at my house if not, Missy. And then, Coach, thanks for joining us.
You know
Our
what?
producer is in the house.
I will join y'all anytime. Like I said, Britt, I can't put on makeup and look as good as you, but I hope I did you some justice tonight.
You definitely did. I know she's thanking you, and we all thank you. Yes.
Subscribe, like on YouTube. Please follow Sports Life Talk on Instagram and Dresses and Salted Pretzels on Instagram. And we are so thankful for everyone that tuned in. Dave, I see you too in there, and Xavier. Thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it.
All right.
I didn't know. All right. We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.